there, and welcome to It's a Mystery. Yes, once again, we have another bizarre collection of all things weird and wonderful. Our mystery investigators, Ben Jones and Shelley Blond, will be looking into some amazing stories that I can tell you they're guaranteed to leave you guessing. Why should checking into this hotel give the impression that there are some weird goings-on? And we find out how these things managed to give two women the shock of their lives. And do you believe in mysterious floating objects?
Where did you order,
Well,
sir?
neither did Tony Lipton. That is, until one lunchtime when he got the fright of his life. Right then, let's get started. Have you ever had a spine-tingling moment? You know, when suddenly a shiver passes through you and all is not what it seems. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. It's a mystery what happened at the Carrefour Hotel.
Picture the scene. Charlotte and Martin Cooper were taking a holiday in the French countryside. They'd been driving all day and were longing to find a cosy place to stay for the night. They turned at a junction, past a church, and through a dark and creepy wood. There along the lane was the Carrefour Hotel. They parked the car and ventured inside and were stunned at what they saw.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir, madame, monsieur.
A woman in an old-fashioned dress and cap approached them in reception and began to speak to them in French.
Que vous désirez manger?
Oui, oui, certainement.
Eh bien, suivez-moi, s'il vous plaît. Merci.
They were served black and sludge-like coffee and coarse bread.
What do you call this? Workhouse rations? Oh, well, maybe it'll taste better than it looks.
A bit like your cooking.
After dinner, the waitress handed them the bill. Martin was very surprised because the meal only came to a couple of French francs.
I think they made a mistake.
They were shown by candlelight into an old-fashioned bedroom with a strange-shaped pillow and a chamber pot at the end of the bed.
Look at this.
Brilliant.
Now this is what I call a teacup.
So, OK, what's going on? Fancy dress party? Themed hotel, maybe? In fact, where's the mystery? Well, just hold on to your sofa, because things are about to get very strange indeed.
The next morning, they left their room to find that the hotel manager was sweeping the floor.
Est-ce que je peux prendre une photo, s'il vous plaît?
Oh, mais oui.
Merci beaucoup.
He was wearing a shirt with an old-style collar. They ventured downstairs and saw a young woman in the hallway wearing a skirt that came right down to her ankles.
Excusez-moi, madame. Est-ce que je peux prendre une photo, s'il vous plaît? Mais oui. Merci.
There was one more picture left on the film, so Martin took one of the creaky old hotel itself.
Didn't think your French was that
Charlotte and Martin left the hotel and drove off.
Oh, I've left my bag at the hotel. We're gonna have to go back.
Well done.
So they went back, turning at the junction, past the church, and through the creepy wood. But they were completely unprepared for the sight that met their eyes.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
There must be some mistake, surely. Maybe you read the map wrong.
The hotel is...
Completely vanished.
And indeed it had.
Ooh. So, OK, let's just get this straight. Two people go on holiday. They stay in a hotel which seems to have gone backwards in time.
Yeah.
There's no electric lighting, and all the people they meet are wearing old-fashioned clothes.
Ah, but that's not all. You see, when they got their holiday photographs back, they saw that an incredible thing had occurred. The photograph of the hotel manager was completely blank, as was the picture of the well-dressed lady and, of course, the hotel itself.
So did the hotel really exist? Or had Charlotte and Martin somehow slipped back in time? Not sure myself.
Yeah, but there's lots of proof, isn't there? You've got the old-fashioned costumes, the candlelit bedroom, and, of course, the photographs.
Which were completely blank.
Oh, yeah.
Did she get her bag back in the end?
No, I don't think so.
And as for the rest of the evidence?
It's vanished mysteriously into thin air.
So no one knows, to this day, the truth behind the riddle of the Carrefour Hotel. Mystery unsolved. Now, there's nothing worse than people poking their nose into your business, foraging through your personal diary, or snooping around your room, is there? The trouble is, you know, it's very difficult to prove. That is, until now. You see, I've come up with some really simple but effective ways of keeping those prying eyes and hands at bay. It's a mystery how you can become a do-it-yourself detective. OK, first, and this is the good bit, make sure that your room is untidy before you go out. You see, snooper traps are more easily hidden in a mess. Now, everyone likes a good read of someone else's diary, and here's a surefire way of making sure that it is not yours. Just leave it open at a particular page and leave a hair across the middle like this. Close the book, leave it, and then when you come back later on, if the hair has moved, someone has been peeking at your diary. Got it? Now, to check whether anyone has been rummaging through your drawers, just open each one a different amount. Just one finger's width more than the other. See that? Put one finger in and just measure it with your finger. Then if someone does root through your drawers, it's unlikely that they'll put them back in the same combination. So you'll know if they've been tampered with. And if you really want to know if someone's been in your room, why not wedge a rolled up bit of paper into the door crack like that when you're closing the door, and then when it's opened, the paper will drop out. Simple. There you go. The next time you suspect snoopers might be rummaging through your things, make sure you're ready for them.
Hello, my name's Kathy Kiemtia and I'm from Surrey. One day something very strange happened to me and my sister Sandra. Some years ago we decided to go and visit the graveyard where our mother was buried. It was a quiet day and there was nobody else around as we walked up the road. We talked about what we had to do later on. I needed to go shopping and I asked Sandra to remind me to buy 2 large cans of cola for my husband. At the same time, my sister asked me to remind her to buy a copy of the paper so she could check her bingo numbers for herself and my nan. Everything seemed normal as we walked towards the grave, but as we got closer I could see something resting on it. To my surprise, there was a can of cola and that day's paper on top.
So, OK, let's just go through that again. Kathy and her sister had talked about buying some items, which then appeared on top of their mother's grave. Now, no one else had heard them talk about buying the cola and the paper, and even if they had, how would they have known which was the right grave? And why would anyone leave the items for the sisters anyway? Maybe a gardener or another visitor had left the cola and the paper there by mistake earlier that morning. Or was there something else going on? What do you think?
We were both stunned by what we saw. We looked around and the place was totally empty. There was nobody else in sight. We sat down beside the grave for a while and during that time there was no clue why this had happened. I would love to know the truth behind what happened that day, but no one has ever suggested a logical explanation.
Strange story. And you know, to this day, it remains completely unsolved. Have you ever seen something that appears to have no logical explanation? You know, where your eyes seem to be playing tricks on you, and seeing is not quite believing. Well, it's a mystery what Tony Lipton thought he saw.
Tony Lipton was relaxing in his local cafe. He'd had a very busy morning and was whiling away his tea break with a crossword.
Ready to order, sir?
Yeah, I'll have a plate of gingerbread and a nice hot cup of coffee, please.
He was working on a particularly tricky clue.
8 letters. Suspended without support.
But he was puzzled. The answer was on the tip of his tongue, but he just couldn't put his finger on it.
Difficult clue.
Looks like it.
8 letters, suspended without support.
The waitress pondered for a moment, and then...
Floating. It's floating.
Thank you very much.
No, not the crossword. Over there. The vacuum cleaner's floating.
And indeed it was. Hovering just outside the window was a vacuum cleaner, suspended mysteriously in midair, as if it had a magical mind of its own.
I think I might be imagining things.
So, could it be the work of a mischievous ghost? Or perhaps it was some sort of incredible stage illusion? Or could there be a more sinister explanation? Well, I tell you what, there is a twist in the tale, and you'll need to keep your eyes peeled to spot this one.
Are you all right, sir? Breathe in, 2, 3. Breathe out, 2, 3. That's it. You've had a bit of a shock.
I just dreamt I saw a dancing vacuum cleaner.
Suddenly, there was a movement at the window. They both looked up and stared in disbelief, because there, hovering in mid-air, was a television. It hung in front of them for a moment. In an instant, a ghetto blaster appeared in its place. It too swayed mysteriously in midair.
Oh, come on. How can anything as heavy as a television set or a vacuum cleaner float in midair? Well, the solution to the riddle is nothing other than one of these.
Now, workmen were clearing the flat above the cafe and throwing furniture down onto the floor in front of the shop. The vacuum cleaner, the television set and the ghetto blaster had all been lowered using the flex. To anyone inside the building, it would appear that they were floating magically in mid-air.
So hang on a second, just go through that again.
Well, it was all a bit of a joke, you see. The workmen, they were up on the roof having a bit of a laugh like they do, and what they were doing was dangling the electrical equipment by the flex. So in a way, what Tony Lipton saw was an illusion, similar to one of these. Now, this is a marionette. You can see the object moving, but the strings seem almost invisible against the background. And just like watching a puppet show, Tony Lipton's eyes would have been more focused on the object rather than the flex it was connected to.
Ah, so much for ghostly, mysterious electrical equipment. It was more like a big puppet show where the workmen were having a bit of fun. Mystery solved, I think. So there you go. Yet again, we've revealed the answers to more weird goings-on. But I'll tell you what, you know, there's loads more mysteries still out there. So join us next week when we attempt to unravel some more. In the meantime, here's one last mystery just for you. So listen up. A prisoner was made to carry a heavy sandbag from one side of the prison yard to the other and then back again, day after day. One day, the prisoner realised that he could put something in the bag that would make it lighter. What was it? See if you can work it out, and I'll see you next time.